Hey guys, Keith here, Smoky Mountain Iron Skillet. Kind of doing a little bit different video today, and we've got a couple videos out. Still just trying to get started, learning little tricks, trying to make the quality of the videos better. We've done a little introductory video and a little video the other day cooking soup, but I've had a lot of people ask me in the past, and I actually had someone comment about some of the things you can do on my introductory video, some of the things you can do with cast iron. Now, for those of you out there, I know there's a lot of people that's been around cast iron, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, all these people have used cast iron, so you kind of know the basic in and outs of using cast iron. Guys, just like the video title of the video, don't be scared. Don't be scared, or in my neck of the woods, a lot of people say don't be scared. So don't be scared to use cast iron. Cast iron is just a different way of cooking, long lasting. Folks, it'll last a lifetime. I showed you a couple of skillets there in my introductory video the other day. That one skillet I showed, that's probably the oldest one I have now, which was given to me. It was a gift to me. That skillet is anywhere between 134 to 150 some odd years old, but at least 134 years old. So that skillet was good shape to be that old. So cast iron's going to last not only our lifetime, but your kids and your grandkids, and it'll last their lifetimes, guys, if it's just took care of and handled right. But one thing you do when you first buy a cast iron, I've got a little cast iron skillet here. This is a Black Lock Lodge. Kylie just showed you a little bit about that. I think they're good looking little skillets. But this is a Black Lock Lodge, and Lodge around here is mainly your go-to store if you're interested in cast iron. We're about 25-30 minutes, depending on traffic, from Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area. They have two factory lodge stores there, so you can get basically any kind of cast iron, guys. You can go online and find cast iron, a lot of hand-me-down cast iron and things like that. But when you first buy a cast iron skillet, you can get them you can get stuff at Walmart, different brands, Ozark Trail. I actually have some of those. But Lodge or any other skillet, 9 times out of 10, more than likely they're going to come pre-seasoned. I always take my skillet. You see this one still has a sticker on it. Now, the reason this does, I've actually probably had this skillet for over 2 years, probably longer than that, probably 3 or 4 years. I've just never used it. This was like a series that Lodge came out with. Them and Black Lock were together back in the early 1900s until a fire burnt their foundry down, and when they rebuilt, they dropped Black Lock and started off with just Lodge that people know about today in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. So that's kind of a little bit of story on Black Lock, but it comes. All cast iron usually comes pre-seasoned, but what I do when I get it, and like I said in my other video, I don't use soap. I was just taught that way, so I've always stuck with that. So I don't use soap, but I will wash it out with hot water, things like that. Now, one trick that I always do, and like I say, some of you will probably know this, but for the beginners, those that are not used to using cast iron, when you wash your skillet, whether you've been cooking with it for just starting with it, or you cook with it for the last 10 years, the best way that I've ever found is once you wash it, take your stove, put it on a low to medium heat. You don't want it screaming hot. Guys, that's a lot of mistakes people make with cast iron. They cook too hot, things like that. But to do what I'm talking about here, you'll see in this skillet here, there's a lot of pores in it, especially a newer skillet that's not been used a lot. They will be little pores and things like that in the skillet, and water gets in those. So if you just take that, wash it, dry it out with a hand towel, and set it aside, don't do nothing else to it, you're going to start seeing little spots of rust come up on the skillet. So you take your stove, put it on medium heat, low to medium heat, put the skillet on there, let it get warm, and what that will do, it will dry anything that's in those pores left over, it'll finish completely drying that out. Then what you want to do after that is take whatever type of oil you use. Now, guys, here for skillets that I use quite often, I'll put a little bit of vegetable oil in them, or canola oil. Guys, bacon grease, bacon up, anything like that, very good. Just use it and just wipe inside. Some people use olive oil. Most time I'll use a little vegetable oil or something like that. And every once in a while, I'll throw a little lard in there. And some people, oh no, he uses lard. He uses the pig. Oh yes, God give us pigs, guys. He give us a good thing when they give us a pig. Anybody out there that don't like bacon, I just don't know. Bacon's good for anybody. But anyways, you'll take and just wipe that out, or pour your little bit of oil in it, spray your little bit of oil in it. If you use grapeseed oil, canola oil, vegetable, whatever kind of oil you use, put you that oil in there, let it get warm. Take you a cloth. Now, guys, you can use a paper towel. You can't do it much because that paper towel will actually start coming apart and you'll be picking little pieces of lint off. The best thing to use is an ordinary. Just get you one. You can just keep using it over and over until you just want to throw it away. Ordinary dishcloth that you use in your kitchen, wash your dishes. Most of those will not leave lint. The car detailing cloths, that'll work. Just something. And what you want to do is take and just wipe that skillet inside. Wipe that oil all around. Get it around the handles, the back, the sides of the skillet. And what that does, even though it's pre-seasoned, that just helps you start adding another layer of seasoning. And when you got that stove on there, not only does it dry those pores out with that extra water that's in there that you didn't get with it may look like you got it all with the dishcloth, but trust me, there will be little bits of water in those pores of that skillet. And also that's going to help, with your seasoning. But you want to wipe that. You don't want it standing. You want to wipe it as though you're trying to completely wipe that off. You want to just try to wipe every bit of that oil off, but it is still going to leave that layer of seasoning in it. And I do that every time I use a skillet. Whether I've cooked with it for 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, I do that process right there every single time. But on a pre-seasoned brand new skillet, you can do that. And then once you do that, have your oven preheated at about 400 degrees. There's a lot of articles you can read, a lot of videos that will say to bake that in the oven for an hour. So if you bake that in the oven for an hour, what I found out, it's worked a few times depending on the type of oil I used. You look up the smoke point for your oil. But once you put this in the oven, in that preheated oven at 400 degrees, just kind of watch for your smoking point. When that skillet, that oil kind of starts smoking, turn your stove off. Guys, probably the most that I've ever baked one, especially a new skillet, just trying to add an extra layer of seasoning, it's been about 20 minutes. Turn the oven off, but when you turn that oven off, don't take the skillet out. Leave it in the oven. Let it completely cool. So do this when you're not going to need your oven for a while. It'll take a little while to cool off, but you want it to completely cool in that oven. You don't want to just bring it out and hit the cold air or the cool air and things like that. So just leave it in the oven, and that's going to start an extra layer of seasoning. And like I say, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Take, when you're using it, just taking, don't use extremely high heat. Yes, cast iron can handle any kind of high heat. If you're baking, it's kind of different than using the stove top, because when you're baking, you don't have it sitting, directly on the stove wire or anything like that. So if you're frying a hamburger, if you're frying bacon, sausage, if you're frying potatoes in a skillet, you don't want to take and have that thing screaming, because that's when you start getting a lot of stuff stick. Guys, I don't care what most people say. Now, it may work for some people. Me, I've always still no matter how good my skillet is seasoning, when I'm frying certain things, potatoes, even hamburgers, even cooking them on a lower heat, sometimes you're still going to have a little sticking in the skillet. Don't panic. Your skillet is not ruined. Don't go throwing it away, putting it in the trash. That's a cardinal sin, throw a cast iron skillet away. So don't do that. This little gadget right here, and it actually says Lodge on it. I actually bought this at the Lodge store. Hope you can see that real good. It's got little teeth on the edges of it. It's a little scraping deal. Use the sides and all this. Guys, that right there will be your best friend with cast iron. I don't care how long that you've been cooking with it. Make friends with this little guy right here. Let him become your little buddy with your little cast iron skillets. Because when you take, don't use metal, scraping, anything like that with metal in your cast iron, because what you're going to do when you do that, you're scraping away your seasoning, going to scar it. Just like a pot or a pan you go down here to Walmart and buy non-stick and all that, and then about 2 weeks later it's scarred out of pieces. Guys, just use something like this. They got a little thing too at the Lodge store. Other stores probably has it too. It's called chain mail. You can actually use it, and the way it's made and stuff, it doesn't scar them. But use this little thing right here, scrape it out, you're good to go. Just because you stick something in a skillet, it doesn't mean your skillet's ruined, and a lot of people go throwing it away thinking they've done ruined the skillet. That's a cardinal sin right there. Do not throw your cast iron away. But one example, I've had this skillet here. This is a lot bigger skillet. It might take me a minute to hold it. You can see kind of how shiny and all that is, a little smooth, but I want you to see the inside of this skillet, how smooth that looks. You'll see my fingerprints in there too. But the inside of this skillet right here, I probably used this skillet for, I'm just guessing 7 or 8 years. I do that exact process I just talked about, and you can see just how smooth this is. You can fry eggs in it. All that, as long as you're frying them on low heat, yes, you can fry eggs. If you like them over easy, you can fry eggs in your cast iron once you get them seasoned real good, and better than any non-stick skillet or pot you'll ever go buy down here at the stores or anything. So yes, the more you cook with them, the more seasoned they're going to become, the more easier it is to cook with, and the more actual non-stick. Because a lot of people, they get the idea that, oh, no, everything's going to stick in it, I'm not going to be able to cook anything in it. Yeah, you can. All you got to do is just keep using that skillet, fry bacon in it, fry your sausage in it, fry your potatoes in it. Once you get that thing seasoned down, you'll take and you'll see what I'm talking about. That skillet right there I just showed you, you can run your hand around that skillet. There'll not be any pores. I don't know if you can see those little pores or not in the skillet like on this one right here, because I've not used it. After a while using that, you're not going to see those pores or anything. It's going to be smooth as a brand new car hood. So you're not going to see all those pores in it. One thing I recommend that you don't do with a new cast iron skillet or pot, until you use it a few times and get that seasoned and baked in a little bit better, is anything with acid in it. Tomatoes and stuff like that. Yes, you can cook with tomatoes. You can cook your tomato sauce. You can cook your spaghetti sauce and all sorts of different things like that. But let that pot get a little more seasoning to it before you start doing a whole lot of cooking like that, because that pre-season that it came with, it will start taking that off. And if you've ever done that or tried that, you'll notice that it'll start taking that season off, and then you'll just have to start re-seasoning, bake it, and stuff like that. So be careful about cooking things like that in a skillet that's not been seasoned real good. But guys, you can take and cook anything you want in an iron skillet that you want to, as long as we do it. And we're going to do some more of the, I guess, and guys, I'm no expert by no means. I'm just telling you what I've learned over the years, what I learned growing up with my mom using cast iron, and the experiences and the things that I've done. And I've looked at the skillet, oh no, I've ruined my skillet. No, I would be tempted to just throw it away, thought I'd done away with it. No, don't do that. If you're going to throw a skillet away, you message me somehow, leave a comment, we'll get together. I'll take your iron skillet. Don't throw that iron skillet away. Because it can be salvaged, it can be, fixed. No matter what you do, it's fixable. Only way it's not fixable, if you take something and you just break that thing in two. You're not going to bend it. You're not going to do anything that can't be fixed. So don't be scared. don't be scared to use your iron skillet. Don't be scared to cook in it. Don't be scared to get started with it. Because like I've said in my other video, guys, it's fun. To me, it's fun using iron skillets. And to be honest with you, you can do a lot of things in iron skillets and budget friendly. You don't have to spend, now, granted, some cast iron, not so cheap, you know. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, size skillet, size Dutch ovens, or whatever you get. But once you get that and you start using those, guys, you ain't going to be running down here to Walmart or a department store somewhere. I don't know if I ought to use the names of the stores or not. I don't know how this stuff works. Y'all just have to watch over me here. Somebody might get on there and say, oh, no, he just threw the stores under the bus. No. Guys, you go down here, if you're like us, we've seen all of these, and I'm not going to call them a name. Food Channel, Food Network people come out with their line of cookware, kitchenware, and things like that. Me and my wife, we've bought those. Guys, 4 or 5 months, they're scarred all the pieces. Bottom looks awful. The inside of them looks awful. Cast iron's not going to do you that way. Like I say, no matter what you do to this skillet, it's fixable. When it comes to sticking something, the way it looks, and we're going to get into that because a lot of people, I actually had somebody ask me just a few weeks ago, well, when I use my iron skillet and everything, once I wash it and all that, it just looks all gray and it looks ugly and it ain't shiny no more. Well, what I just went through, the process I use when I wash my skillet, I wash it with water, I dry it out, set it on the stove, use that heat to get the pores out, put that little oil in there. It's going to shine like a brand new quarter again. Every single time. When you get that skillet out of that water and you dry it out, it's going to look that way. It's going to have a grayish look to it. It's going to look like it's dirty and you've never washed it. But guess what? It's clean. Put it on there. Put your little oil back on there. Shine that little puppy back up. Look like a brand new skillet. So I hope this has helped you out a little bit. Just give you a little insight on some things you know to do with making your cast iron look good. Hey, I've got some skillets over there I still cook with now. They just plumb ugly. They just look like we just got them out of the dump. But hey, they work. They still cook good. So we use them. But guys, you can fix anything. Don't be scared. Don't forget this little gadget right here. That can become your best friend when it comes to cast iron. It keeps you from scarring your skillet. And plus, what little bit of things that it scars up and or not scars up. I'm sorry. Those little bit of things, get my throat cleared up here. You just have to excuse me here. But those things that stick, scrape it right off. Won't hurt it, won't scar your seasoning, and your skillet still look good if you use that process. Get it dried out good. Use that heat on your stove to dry it out. Add your oil, wipe that oil out. Your skillet will look brand new. Look all shiny like this one here. But and again, skillet that we've used for several years. You can just see how slick and how shiny it is. Guys, it's smooth, better than any kind of non-stick stuff you can go down here to the store and buy. So don't be scared to use your cast iron. Hopefully you guys like and share, subscribe to my channel. Appreciate the ones that has already. But keep doing that. If you're just now watching, subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot of different types of cooking with the cast iron. We're going to be showing a lot more, not a lot more, but some more videos on the cleaning process of cast iron, how to take care of it and things like that. And may get one where I've stick something and just kind of go through and show you, you know, that you've not ruined your skillet and how, you know, you can get it clean just a few minutes. Don't take a whole lot of work. You don't want to see, one more thing I will add to it. Do not, you can for a few minutes, you know, let it put you some hot water in there to kind of loosen up maybe something that might be stuck. But just do not let it sit there just for, you know, over a long period of time, you know, like we do some things. If y'all like us, you might have a casserole dish or something other. Well, I'm gonna have to let that soak in some water, well, for those soapy water, or water for a while and leave it in there for an hour or two. Don't do your cast iron like it, guys. Anything gets stuck, usually if you let it sit there a few minutes with the water in it, hot water in it, then you can use that little gadget right there. You can take that right there, everything will scrape right back out. Dry it out, put it on the stove, warm it up, put you some oil in it. Looks brand new, and get started again. Ready to cook again. Just remember, getting started up cast iron, don't panic over it. Don't be scared to use it. Don't be scared you're going to mess it up. You can't do anything to it that you can't fix. Till next time, we hope you enjoy your cooking. Hope you enjoy your cast iron. And remember this, God Family Food or God Food Family. The choice is yours.